human nature is what you see in kids, where the better they feel, the more they do. Only kids that are not feeling so good sit still and do nothing or complain or just play video games. As soon as they get into their well-being, they're productive and creative and everything that kids are supposed to be, and they roll around laughing and come up with new games. And then for some reason we've made up this idea that yeah, that's good for kids, but as a grown-up that doesn't work anymore. Then you have to be semi-miserable to keep yourself motivated, so you finally can die happy with everything you achieved. Which is a lousy life plan, but I see that a lot with clients.
Yeah.
So
the double polarity angel demon is not correct from what I see. You are the angel, and sometimes you see demons.
Yeah.
And you act accordingly. But that is radical, I think.
And I think the most important thing for anybody listening to this, according to me, now I found this profound because I have an engineering background, and that is the fact that all through history, it's always been in all the books and all the movies and all the theater plays, it's always been like a war between good and evil. So like the devil is trying to take over the world and whispering in our ears, and God is just sitting there sending angels and watching over us. And but it's the same kind of, yeah, but it's a dichotomy that's been used in every book and everywhere. But they're missing something of a fact in the universe, and that is that darkness is only the absence of light. So wherever light goes, darkness goes away. It doesn't stay and fight. It can't fight because it's just the absence of.
There's no, the light is there. I don't know how to say. It's almost like it's not even, darkness is the absence of light, but in a world where there's always light. You know, it's like, it's not even like, oh, but I gotta be careful to always have the light on, you know, because in case otherwise there's darkness. But actually, we are light. So wherever you show up, you know, there's no switch. We can't be off in terms of light.
No.
And that is revolutionary, because it's people here always, we are looking for the doing. Yeah, so you know, we listen to this, it's like, okay, great. So, you know, I gotta learn and work on myself to make sure that I always, you know, switch the light on. And it's like, no, actually, it's as you were saying, it's almost like if you stop covering the light with like blankets, it's there. It's literally just stop covering it and it's done. There's nothing to do. Anything we do is getting in the way.
I think when I coach athletes, I mean, it's so much in their head that no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
Right? So they are very suspicious when things go too easy. It's like they should be looking for easy, but they're looking for hard. It's almost like the field of psychology, because they decided that change was hard and painful, so they went about finding hard and painful ways to change.
Yes.
Is because that's how they thought that was like the price you have to pay for the good change.
I remember being the person who the idea, even if I had nothing to do, at least that occurred. I mean, I thought I had a lot to do.
Yeah.
But I would just rather spend the morning in front of the computer, I don't know, checking the email and scanning things, whatever. But the idea, like, dude, like, you know, you're not doing anything, just go for a walk. Because regardless of what I would achieve that day, it was essential that I could prove to myself, you know, I put in the effort. It was a hard day, right? I forced myself to sit here and crunch and scrunch. And that somehow was proven. And if things were going poorly, well, then I would add also the evening and the night.
Yeah.
And again, if someone would look, it's like, hey, dude, like it's 6 months that you're doing this. What did you get out of it? Nothing. So I should do it even more. Right? There's this quote that comes to mind. There was something like, if something isn't working, don't do it harder. But that's what we do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we struggle, and the struggle is not really paying off. It's like, okay, well, then I gotta struggle even more. Doesn't occur to us like, maybe this is not the best strategy to actually live your best life. Let's put it that way,
Yeah, and it's such a thought virus. I remember a CEO that I was coaching, he said, could you please come down to the company and we have a session here instead of me coming to you, because I want you to understand what I'm going through. And this guy had been talking about one thing and one thing only, really, and that was he needed more time to be reflective. He needed more time for just thinking about the vision and having like getting new ideas. But he just couldn't find it because he was like wall-to-wall meetings and stuff, peeing on fires, as we call it in management, where it's just like something new, I have to go there and do something about that. So I said, fine. We made the time. So when I came to reception, I said, is he in? And he said, oh yeah, he's in the office. So normally people knock and everything, of course, but we've made up the time and everything. So I just open up the door. And as I step in, he's got his feet up on the desk, his hands behind his head. And he doesn't know it's me. He just hears the door coming open and he reacts like he was reading a porn magazine or something, like, oh, and then he's like, oh, it's you, Anders. Right? Because he was about to be caught doing nothing. Because unless you can see it on the outside, people think it's nothing, even though almost everything that makes money is that we create it in our heads first when we let our mind fill with new and fresh ideas. So anyway, so I looked at him and I said, I think I know why you never get time to reflect. And he goes, what do you mean? Well, you just reacted like I was coming in, catching you with a porn magazine or something when I caught you reflecting. Which means that the whole of your being doesn't think that this is a productive idea. So, and it was interesting because he reacted like, oh my God, you're right. I really, really didn't want to be caught not being productive. I said, but you're telling me that you're most productive when you do that. When you have a new idea, that's how you can get like a 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000 idea instead of just putting in the hours and getting something out. And for him, that was a really important realization because that was the first time he was able to let go, because it was invisible to him that no matter how many meetings that got canceled, they always filled it with a new one instead of doing that as a reflective hour or something, right? So because he didn't want to be caught dead doing nothing.
Yeah.
In a way it's hidden, in a way it's right there on every level. You were talking about, this CEO was aware that his ideas were his superpower. I often think about Isaac Newton, who realized gravity, the nature of gravity, while he was reflecting under a tree, not in his sleep. Or about, Archimedes, that he solved the problem that the king gave to him while he was having a bath. And with athletes, it's the same.
It seems to me that one of the things we were saying, and I hope we're going to keep doing in this space, is one probably is we got to really start showing the results.
Yeah.
Rather than the theory, because, and to me, I can wrap up with like just the other day I had this session with a head coach of a national team. Okay. And they were telling me that they had this problem. It was and I say, hey, yeah, this is a big deal. Maybe we can talk about it also next session. It's really like, and they're just like, hey, do you know what your next step is? I say, oh, hell no, no idea. I don't know. It's just too much because, and then blah, 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 blah. Say, hey, we're at the end of the session and say, look, do you have 3 more minutes? 3. And they're like, yeah, I have a meeting after. Yeah, sure, 3 minutes. I do that. Okay. And literally, all I did, I said, listen, I ask you to just answer the question. And if I hear you going anywhere else, if you start like, oh, getting lost in your thought, I'm just going to stop you. That's it. And we just keep going. Is that okay? Yeah, so simple enough. 3 minutes in, she had like 4 next steps. And especially the last one was like, no, what? Like, this is it. This is the solution. I got it, And regardless of the content and the solution, I just thought, like, I just want you to really notice that it took you 3 minutes of not getting in your head and following every, rabbit hole, and just being in that space and listening to find the answer to something that you told me you would just never find the answer for. Right. So, and it was our 3rd session. I could see that was probably more impactful than a lot of the conversation we had before, because, it was like, oh, so if we can bring, because we have the luck of dealing with top athletes, top, business people, and put out there like the simplicity, because I think, and it just occurred to me, I never saw it like that, but we go around the world and say, hey, it's easier than you think. Yeah. But we never really show how easy it is, to treat like, hey, look, because already going somewhere, say, hey, did you know that I took someone with a big problem and in 3 minutes, the problem wasn't there anymore and there were only infinite solutions? Oh, tell me more.
Like I had one who told me in the morning, he said, I know exactly what I'm going to say now because this is weird to me. And I said, what is it? We had this wonderful day yesterday. We went out to eat. I came back to my hotel room. I decided to check my phone. I had an email from my second in command, so to speak. And I thought, I wonder if anything happened, because I told them that I'm going to be away for the week. You handle the stuff. I'm on this course, so I'm off the grid. But of course, if there's something really urgent, you can reach me. So he sees that and he's thinking, oh, and then he turns it on, gets to the email, and the email just says one thing, which is, I'm not your fucking slave. That's a good way to start, right? That's what it says. And he said, normally I just get up into my head, what the hell does he mean? And sending it right when he knows I'm going to sleep, it just can't, this. And he said, wow, that's interesting. I wonder how much he's suffering right now to send this email. And I'm wondering if he wishes that he could suck it back through the internet right now. Right? So he sent him back and said, I would not want to be anybody's slave either. What's going on? And he put it down and he said, I fell asleep like a baby. Normally after something like that, I'd be like going through like multiple things. I woke up in the morning and I got an email that said, oh my God, I'm so sorry I sent you this. It just was too much, and I felt like you abandoned me with 2 jobs when it was too much to my own, and you go gallivanting off on a course and you leave me with all the crap and I have to do all this, and I just as I sent it, my whole being just went like, no, but it was too late, right? So, and they had a laugh and they said, we felt closer, right? And he said normally that conversation would probably feel like both of us would wake up in the morning and thinking about, I need your resignation papers on my desk when I get back home. That's not a way to talk. And now they felt closer as human beings. And to me, that's just beautiful when you realize you don't have to take your own thinking seriously just because you're the one that thought it. And especially when it comes with a bit of a warning signal in form of that icky feeling and if people listening to this can just actually get that my uncomfortable feelings are not there to confirm what I'm thinking. It's actually there to disqualify what I'm thinking. Yes. I mean, if you just get that,
that's huge.
Like he did, it's huge, because it can be literally life-saving in situations like the one he had when somebody kind of loses their mind temporarily and just says, I can't take it anymore. This is not fair. And they get in their head and send off an email that is not exactly doing anything to build bridges, rather burning all the ships at the shore, right? So it's, but he said, I'd never, unless I had been here for 4 days, there's no way that would have turned out us being closer after an email like that.